Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we will talk about the mechanism of how we sleep, the reasons why we sleep, the types of sleep. It's all about the physiology of sleep. So let's start the lecture. First of all, you all should know that what is the difference between the sleep and coma. What is the similarity between these two, and what is the difference between these two? These two terms, they are distinctly different terms. So let's explain what is the difference between the sleep and coma. Sleep is actually the unconsciousness state from which the person can be aroused by any type of sensory or the other stimulus. Or sleep is a state of body and mind rest in which the nervous system is relatively inactive, the eyes closed, the postural muscles relaxed, and the consciousness practically suspended. On the other hand, coma, this is again the unconsciousness state, and this is actually the similarity between the sleep and coma, that both are the state of unconsciousness. Then, what is the difference? Coma is also an unconscious state, but from this unconsciousness, the person who is in unconsciousness, the person cannot be aroused by the sincere other stimuli, like unlike the sleep where the person can be aroused by the sensory or other stimulus. The coma can also be elaborated as a state of deep unconsciousness that lasts for a prolonged or indefinite period, caused especially by the severe injury or illness. So, coma is actually a pathological consequences, and sleep is a normal response and normal routine daily activities, and which is important for the normal function. So, it is a non-pathological unconsciousness, while coma is the pathological unconsciousness. There is no place for the sleeping. Every time when the person is sleepy, regardless of what is the position of the sleep, the person just got the sleep and just go to the valley of the sleep. So now what are the types of sleep? There are two types of sleep, the slow wave sleep and the rapid eye movement sleep. Why that is known as the slow wave sleep? Because in this type of sleep, the brain waves they are very strong, but their frequency is low, and because of these very low frequency uh, waves, brain waves, they are known as the slow wave sleep. This slow wave sleep is deep and restful sleep during the opening hour of our sleep. On the other hand, the rapid eye movement sleep, which is known as shortly as the REM sleep, the eyes undergo rapid movement, and it is actually 25% of the sleep time, and the remaining 75% of the each sleep cycle is slow wave sleep. So in each cycle, there is 75% the slow wave sleep, and there is 25% of the rapid eye movement sleep, and usually we have the around 4 to 5 cycles of the sleep in the daily routine. Each episode occur every 90 minutes. So if it is recurring up to 90 minutes, mean the 90 minute is the slow wave sleep, and if it is the 25%, so it is obviously 30 minutes, so it make 120 minutes. So 2 hour is a single sleep cycle. A single sleep cycle is made up 2 hour, in which the 1.5 hour or 90 minute is the slow wave sleep, and the remaining 30 minute is the REM or the rapid eye movement sleep. This rapid eye movement sleep just because of the movement in the bed, as well as the movement of the eye and all other systems, they are mostly slightly active as compared to the deep wave sleep. The frequency they have a little bit higher than the one which is in the slow wave sleep, and that's why this is not a restful sleep. So brain waves, they are four in types. The one which have the highest frequency is known as the beta wave, and the one which have the lowest frequency, that is known as the delta wave. So the beta wave, which having the uh, frequency of 13 more plus, it mean more than 13. Usually, this beta wave, they are present at that time when our mind and body that is active, and not only active, that is being present, and that is very busy, and that is present um, during the remembering the short term events. So this beta waves that are used during the short term memory. On the other hand, the brain waves, which are alpha wave, their frequency they range from 8 to 12 cycle per second, or the 8 to 12 hertz. And such alpha wave, when they are active, so the mind and body they are calm, as unlike the beta wave where the mind and body were active and slightly relaxed, but there is no sleeping. There is long-term memory activated, and learning is easy and rapid when the alpha wave is activated. Theta wave, this is on the border of the activeness and the awakening and the sleepiness. Theta wave, the frequency of the theta wave is from 4 hertz to 7 hertz, or from 4 cycle per second to the 7 cycle per second. And theta wave they are activated when the body is in a deep relaxation state, high creativity and insight, and the subconscious and mind associated with this, accessible with this activation with theta wave activation. The wave which is present during the deep wave or the slow wave sleep, that is the deep sleep, is the wave present here in the deep sleep, that is actually the delta wave, and the frequency of the delta wave is less than 3, and it's ranged from the point 5 to 3 cycle per second, and minimum brain activity is present during the activation of the delta wave, and it is being present during the sleeping. So ये चार टाइप्स जो हैं ये यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर कि इसकी फ्रिक्वेंसी क्या है, और ड्यूरिंग द स्लीपिंग या ड्यूरिंग द एक्टिव स्टेट में कौन से ब्रेन वेव जो है ये एक्टिवेट होता है. अब आते हैं टुवर्ड्स द मच मोर डिटेल ऑफ द स्लो वेव स्लीप. सो स्लो वेव स्लीप जो होता है ये डीप होता है और रेस्टफुल स्लीप होता है, and usually it is in the initial hour of sleep cycle, we can say 1.5 hour of the uh, sleep. Decrease in peripheral vascular tone. There is 10 to 30% decrease in the blood pressure, in the respiratory rate, and the basic metabolic rate. Hence, the body is in the complete relaxation and unconscious state. So that's why there is no need of such higher respiratory rate and the heart rate. So there is decrease in the this blood pressure, respiratory rate, basic metabolic rate, and the heart rate. Most commonly called as the dreamless sleep because it is a very deep sleep and there is no such dream. And if someone have dreamed in this part of the sleep, they are usually not remembered, but the nightmare they may also occur during the slow wave sleep. Dreams are not remembered. So these were the brain wave which we discussed in the previous, that delta wave, which is the slowest with slow frequency, and their frequency range from 0.5 to 3 cycle per second hertz. They are present during the deep sleep, while the theta wave they are present in the deep meditation and dreaming, and alpha wave they are present visualization and meditation, while the beta wave they are known as the present in the wakefulness. They are having uh, 14 or more than 14 or 13 or more than 13 hertz frequency. So the one which having the less frequency is known as the slow wave, and which is actually present in the deep sleep, and that part of the sleep is known as the slow wave sleep. The next type of the sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, that is also called as the dis desynchronized sleep, just because of the uh, desynchronization between the movements, between the brain activity, between the heart rate, metabolic rate. There is no such desynchronization. So there is desynchronization. Bouts of rapid eye movement they last up to 30 minutes and appear every 90 minutes of night sleep, or when we have up 4 to 5 sleep in a night. And average, as average, we have these 4 to 5 sleep in a night. It was identified and described by the Nathaniel Clitman and his student, the Eugen. Aserinsky in 1953. REM sleep typically occupies 20-25% of total sleep. About 90 to 120 minutes of net sleep when we having a 4 to 5 sleep cycle in a night. The number of these REM sleep increases if someone have 8 hour or 10 hour sleep or the mean more than 8 hours sleep. So again they will be increasing the REM sleep. The relative amount of REM sleep varies considerably with age. A newborn baby spends more than 80% of the total sleep time in REM, and that's why uh, हम जब बच्चा सो रहा होता है और हम मामूली से भी शोर कर देते तो उठ जाता है क्योंकि उनकी डीप वेव स्लीप डीप वेव्स वहां पे नहीं होती तो इसलिए ज्यादातर वहां पे अल्फा वेव होती है सारी थीटा भी होती है बिकॉज थीटा जो है ये अल्फा से कम फ्रिक्वेंसी के होते हैं बीटा सबसे ज्यादा होती है फिर इसके बाद अल्फा होती है फिर जो है ये थीटा होती है और इसके बाद जो है ये डेल्टा होती है तो यूजुअली इसलिए उसकी जो नींद होती है हम अक्सर कहते हैं कि उसकी बेकरार सी होती है नींद क्योंकि वो मामूली सा भी उनको स्टिमुलस मिल जाती है तो वो जाग जाते हैं क्योंकि उनकी 20% ऑफ द टोटल स्लीप इज जस्ट द डीप वेव स्लीप जहाँ पे और अमूमन व्हेन वी आर इन द डीप वेव स्लीप तो उस टाइम पे हम अगर कुछ वहाँ बाहर सराउंडिंग में शोर भी हो रहा है लाइट आ रही है तो हमें इसका कोई पता नहीं हो लेकिन समटाइम्स अगर हम आरईएम स्लीप में होते हैं तो हमें इवन चिल्ली की आवाज भी हम सुन लेते हैं और हमें हम फिर ये डिस्क्राइब करते हैं कि आई वॉज स्लीपिंग मुझे चिल्ली की आवाज आ रही थी लेकिन आई डोंट नो हु वाज देयर और या जो बाहर से मुझे ये आवाज आ रही थी या हम जाग जाते हैं बाहर कोई शोर कर रहा है तो उससे हम जाग जाते हैं या सुबह सवेरे जब हम जाग जाते हैं तो वी आर इन द आरईएम स्लीप लेकिन न्यू बॉर्न बेबी उनका ज्यादातर टाइम जो है ये उनकी ब्रेन एक्टिव होती है उनकी ब्रेन एक्टिविटी और ये सब एक्टिव होती है उनका हार्ट रेट भी बहुत ज्यादा होता है और मेटाबॉलिज्म रेट भी उनका ज्यादा होता है तो इनका न्यू ज्यादातर टाइम जो है ये आरईएम स्लीप में गुजरता है characteristic of the REM sleep. So active dreaming and active bodily movements more difficult to arouse by sensory stimuli and people awake spontaneously in the morning during the episode of REM. Muscle tone extremely depressed, heart rate and the respiratory become irregular and that's why it is also known as the desynchronized sleep. Irregular muscle movements also occur in addition to the rapid eye movement and that's why it is a restless sleep. Brain is highly active and brain metabolism increased as much as 20% and that is the reason why the newborn baby they have more portion in the REM sleep than the slow wave sleep. Brain is active but the activity is not channelized in the proper direction for the person to be aware of his surrounding. So these are comparison between the REM sleep and the non-REM sleep. If we talk about the rapid eye movements, so in the REM sleep, it is present. In the non-REM sleep or in the deep wave sleep, it is absent. The dreams are present in the REM sleep while they are absent in the non-REM. And if sometime if someone have dreams in the non-REM sleep, they will be not remembered. Muscle twitching, they are present in the REM sleep and absent in the REM sleep. The heart rate, the blood pressure, the respiration, and the body temperature, they all are irregular in the REM sleep. They are fluctuating, they are increasing, decreasing, while the heart rate, blood pressure, respiration, and the body temperature, they all are stable in the non-REM sleep. The neurotransmitter which is present in the REM sleep, this is the non-adrenaline, while serotonin, this is the neurotransmitter which is present, which is active, which is situated involved in the non-REM sleep. So remember this point that which neurotransmitter is involved in the REM sleep and which is involved in the non-REM sleep. Basic theories of sleep. So why we sleep? What is the reason that we fall into sleep? So what are the basic theories and mechanism of sleeping? So let's discuss them. The first of them that is the repair and restoration theory of sleep. According to the repair and restoration theory of sleep, sleeping is essential for restoring the physiological process that keep the body and mind healthy and properly functioning. This theory suggests that non-REM sleep is important for restoring physiological function, while REM sleep is essential in restoring the mental function. Support for this theory is provided by during sleep. The body increases its rate of cell division and protein synthesis, suggesting that repair and restoration occur during sleeping periods. Another theory is the waste removal system. In October 2013 issue of the journal Science, researchers published the results of a study indicating that the brain utilizes sleep to flush out waste toxins. This waste removal system, they suggest, is one of the major reasons why we sleep. This is actually the link for that study in which uh, this waste removal system theory was published in that study. The next theory is the active inhibitory process. For this theory, that was named as the passive theory of sleep. And according to the passive theory of sleep, the RAS becomes simply fatigued during the day and as a result inactivated during the night. It was later proved that the sleep is caused by an active inhibitory process rather than the passive theory of sleep. Once that there seemed to be a center located below the mid-pontine level of the brainstem that is required to cause sleep by inhibiting other parts of the brain. Now, what are the neuronal center which cause the sleep? So we have discussed them as well. There are a sleep center. There is a awakening center in the hypothalamus, and these nuclei they are causing the sleep. There are the other neuron center as well in the lower half of the pons and medulla. And nerve fibers from these nuclei spread in the brainstem reticular formation, thalamus, hypothalamus, and the limbic system. It also extends downwards, terminating in the posterior horns of the spinal cord, inhibiting the sensory signals. And that's why we do not receive any sensory signals if something is happening in the surrounding. We actually don't hear them. We actually have no such information. We don't sense them because this neuronal centers they actually deactivate or we can say that desensitize the posterior horn where they inhibit the sensory signals and through the sensory neurons the signals they are just reached to the posterior horn but they never reached to the brain and hence you don't sense the surrounding. Many nerve endings they also secrete serotonin which is actually one of the neurotransmitter involved in the sleep, specifically the non-REM sleep. Stimulation of some areas in the nucleus of the tractus solitarius can also cause sleep, and several regions in the diencephalon, such as the rostral portion of the hypothalamus, mainly in the suprachiasmal area and occasional area in the diffuse nuclei of the thalamus. They can also have some association with the sleep. Now, how the sleep is being regulated. Lesion, if there is lesion in the referee nuclei, which and they will lead to the higher state of wakefulness because the person will be unable to sleep. And if there is bilateral lesion in the medial rostral suprachiasmal area in the anterior hypothalamus, they will also cause wakefulness. And in both cases, if the lesion in the referee and the lesion in the medial rostral suprachiasmal area, in both cases, the excitatory reticular nuclei of the midbrain, the mesencephalon, and the upper pons become released from the inhibition, thus causing the intense wakefulness. And this type of lesion can lead to the death of the person due to the prolonged exhaustion. Now, what are the causes of the REM sleep? So, from the literature, the state is unclear that what are the clear and explicit cause of the that REM sleep. Drugs that mimic the action of the acetylcholine increase the occurrence of the REM sleep, like the pilocarpine or the piloc. Some areas, this word is also pronounced as the pilocarpine. Large acetylcholine secreting neurons in the upper brainstem reticular formation through their extensive efferent fibers activate many portions of the brain. Now the cycle between the sleep and wakefulness, the reticular activating system, the ROS, is an area of the brain responsible for the regulating arousal and sleep-wake transition. When the sleep centers they are not activated, the mesencephalic and upper pontine reticular activating nuclei they are released, which allows the reticular activating nuclei to become spontaneously active. This excites both the cerebral cortex as well as the peripheral nervous system, both of which send numerous positive feedback signals back to the same reticular activating nuclei to activate them still further. Once wakefulness starts, it has a natural tendency to sustain itself. After the brain remains activated for many hours, the neurons themselves in the activating system become fatigued. This positive feedback cycle between the mesencephalic reticular nuclei and the cerebral cortex spreads, and the sleep promoting effect of the sleep center take over, leading to the rapid transition from wakefulness back to the sleep. So where the sleep center is located. The awakening center is present in the interior nuclei of the hypothalamus, and the sleep center is located in the posterior of the hypothalamus. Reticular formation area below the mid-pontine area, and they have different neurotransmitter, acetylcholine and the serotonin. So both neurons are present, the cholinergic and the serotonergic, and that will lead to the sleep. A serotonergic, they are involved with the REM, non-REM sleep, while the cholinergic they are involved with the REM sleep. Adrenergic they are involved with the wakefulness. The physiological effects of sleep. When we sleep, so what happens to our body? So during the sleep, there is decrease in the plasma volume, there is decrease in the heart rate, there is decrease in the blood pressure, decrease in the rate of respiration and the force of respiration. What we mean by the rate of respiration? The number of breaths per minute is known as the rate of respiration, and uh, the amount of oxygen which we inhale during a single breath is actually considered as the force of respiration. Salivary secretion decreases. There is also an increase in the gastric juice, but in some cases, in many cases, it's been reported that there is no such increase, and if this increase is present, this is non-significant. So overall, we can consider that the gastric juice also remain constant. There is no change, because if there is some change, there will be increase, but that increase is non-significant. So overall, the gastric juice in the sleep dishes remain and they remain unaltered. There is decrease in the formation of urine. There is increase in the sweat secretion. There is decrease in the lacrimal secretion. The muscle tone and reflexes that decrease except the ocular muscles. Sleep has two major effects at the level of nervous system and at the level of other function system of the body. The effects on the central nervous system they are far more important. Prolonged wakefulness is associated with progressive malfunctioning of the thought process and can cause abnormal behavioral activities. Sleep in multiple ways restore both normal level of brain activity and normal balance among the different functions of the central nervous system. The principal value of sleep is to restore natural balance among the neuronal centers. So that was all about the physiology of the sleep. We discussed what is the difference between the sleep and coma, what are the types of sleep, what are the types of brain waves, what is their frequencies, what are the characteristics of the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, and the deep sleep, also known as the slow wave sleep. Then we discussed the different theories regarding why we sleep. We discussed the regulation of sleep, the neuronal centers where they are located in the sleep, and the pathology of these lesions of these structures. When there is lesion in such structures, what will happen? In the end, we also discussed the physiologic effects of the sleep, as well as we discussed about that where are the sleep center and where is the awake center located. So that was all about the physiology of the sleep. If you have any question, you can ask after watching this lecture directly from me. So that was all about. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Jazakallah.